What a way to return to racing. The British GP gave us an excellent start to the second half of the season, from the start to the end of the weekend. So let's, after a long 5-week break, take a look at what we learned from the British Grand Prix. A short long lap penalty. Fabio Quartararo was dealt what many felt was an unfair long lap penalty after the Dutch Grand Prix. However, it was quickly discovered that the long lap penalty at Silverstone wasn't quite as long as others on the calendar. Aleix Espargaro joked about this and was proved correct in the race, as Fabio only lost about 1.5 seconds in the long lap penalty, whilst at other tracks the same penalty can lose you as much as 4 seconds. This does need to be looked at, since these penalties should be as consistent as possible across all tracks so that the punishment is fair, or at least as close to fair, at each track on the calendar. That being said, the skill aspect of completing a long lap penalty should of course not be removed. However, it should be checked that the time loss from the penalty remains approximately the same at all tracks. Toughest in the world. A monster high side for Aleix Espargaro during FP4 led to the Spaniard being battered and bruised for qualifying. But just 45 minutes after being sent to the moon at 180 km per hour, Espargaro was the first to break the 1 minute 57 second lap time, smashing the lap record in the process. It would have been tough for the Spaniard for the entirety of the race, riding with his injuries, but he salvaged a solid 9th. His pain also didn't stop him going for a dive bomb into Brooklands on his championship rival Fabio Quartararo. It was a truly great damage limitation from Aleix Espargaro, and an incredible reminder of not only how determined but how tough MotoGP riders are to keep going even after these huge crashes. No ride height devices. The last 2 rounds at Assen and Silverstone have been probably the best races of the season so far. Because of this, I wanted to mention the fact that these have been on layouts where the ride height devices are not used as much, with both tracks being faster, flowing layouts without the long, hard acceleration zones where the ride height devices are normally used. The race today, to me, acts as yet more evidence that these devices need to be removed for the racing to return to its best, as we can see that the field is more than capable of having some very good battles when these devices don't limit overtaking. A teammate's second half. Another thing that this race suggests to me is that the second half will be heavily affected by those playing the team game, as Maverick Viñales and Jack Miller will play a critical role in who wins this title. These two are seriously fast, and taking points off of each other's teammates and acting as a rear gunner to their own teammates will probably be a crucial part of this title. These two being incredibly competitive will all make it more difficult for Fabio to defend his title this year, as he doesn't have the same support from his teammate, as Franco continues to struggle down the back despite cutting all of his hair to try and find some weight savings. The title closes up. It was just what the doctor ordered, as the VR46 rider Pecco Bagnaia took his 4th win of the season, getting his title chase properly back on track, maximising his points gain on Fabio's bad day. Aleix Espargaro did an amazing job, losing only 1 point to Quartararo despite the aforementioned crash and injury, meaning that he sits only 22 points behind Fabio, with Bagnaia closing his gap to the leader down to 49 points. Quartararo's long lap penalty may have been short, but he clearly struggled after serving it, unable to regain the positions that he would have wanted to. With this result and the host of circuits coming up that lean more towards Bagnaia's advantage, this championship is far from over for any of these talented riders. Rider of the weekend. Enea Bastianini has had some amazing rides in the past, and this was yet another masterclass. Starting from 8th on the grid, Enea was clipped by a couple of his fellow Ducati riders, leading to a loss of one of his wings. He dropped back to 11th, but did an incredible job pushing back through, recovering all the way up to 4th. It was an incredible ride, particularly considering the damage to his bike, and if he can keep up his consistency in the second half, Bastianini will only make the job harder for the Ducati bosses to decide who, between himself and Jorge Martin, should fill that second factory seat next year. Struggle of the weekend. Joan Mir is my struggle of the weekend. It has been a hard time watching him struggle as both a Mir and a Suzuki fan, but frankly it hasn't been good enough from the 2020 World Champion, as he threw away yet more points in this round with his crash. His future is still up in the air, but Mir's form has been pretty atrocious since the announcement of Suzuki's departure, and yet another DNF won't be giving any other team the confidence to hire him for 2023. So that's 5 things we learned from the British Grand Prix, an incredible race that sets up a championship battle that will hopefully run to the very end. I'm looking forward to the next round at the Red Bull Ring and hope it gives us more exciting racing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, comment down below anything that you thought I missed. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.